think so.
They can't fucking stand us.
Merry meet everybody and welcome back to Delos. I am Tony and...
I am Tasa.
So we've gone through the sun and the moon, but now we talk about the rising, and that's not a dick joke.
Can't fucking stand it. The rising or the ascendant is one of the most important aspects in your chart, and today we're gonna learn why. Are you moody and mysterious, or optimistic and extroverted? Maybe you just naturally have an odd style, or maybe you don't care for it at all. The ascendant or the rising sign is a placement in the chart that represents the moment you were born. It's also called the first house, and that is the physical body. The ascendant is the indicator not only of your first impression, but even your actual appearance. The first house is the body. It is called the house of self. It represents our strengths and weaknesses, as well as our mask that we put on to show to the world. It's our impulses, both positive and negative, and the way that we kind of approach the world and life. It's the unconscious personality that you project to the world until they dig a little deeper and find that hidden moon sign.
You walk into a room where you don't know anybody. What is your first approach? Or say it's your first day at work and you haven't gotten accustomed to anybody just yet. Here we're seeing the ascendant at work. Are you more reclusive and analytical in a new environment, or do you take charge and break the ice first? The Ascendant is the first astrological constellation rising over the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. The first house is also said to rule early childhood and represents those earliest steps taken in our youth out into the world, and are kind of like the goggles we use to perceive the world around us. Pessimistic at the rise of tragedy, or endlessly optimistic. The Ascendant speaks to the person that we are becoming and will become. It's our demeanor, our style, the way we carry ourselves, and initial emotional responses.
It is said that our sun sign only plays a fraction into our physical appearance. The ascendant takes up the majority of that. It can also be used to find the clues about our health and well-being. For example, Taurus rules the throat, so the ascendant in Taurus can possibly mean you have a nice talking, singing voice, but prone to overeating and overindulging. Even your sense of style and the physical characteristics of your face can come from the ascendant. These things, of course, taken into consideration with genetics also. Speaking of Taurus and the ascendant, Lana Del Rey is actually a Taurus rising. For those of you who have seen Lana in the interviews or on stage, she maintains the calm and almost meek and delicate beauty of Taurus. Flower crowns were a signature look of hers. The singer exudes Venusian earthy beauty, grace, and effortless sensuality. Or maybe things are better on the strange side for you. Legendary David Bowie is the poster boy for Aquarius's fascination with the non-conventional and boundary pushing. Aquarius in the ascendant gives an eccentric taste in clothing, odd interests, and ingenious ways of thinking. All things Bowie can tip his hat to.
The sign found in your ascendant are the characteristics that you express most naturally. This is why not all Libras act the same way. Most oftentimes, people express themselves somewhere between their sun and the ascendant. The first house is ruled by the planet Mars, and the natural ruler is Aries. So having the first house in another fire sign is where you really see the action of the first house of self in motion, because nobody knows I like a fire sign. And since Aries is the ruler of the first house, it's only fair to give them the spotlight. Quick and direct, Aries in the ascendant is competitive, quick-tempered, and self-reliant. They're said to have a ruddiness or redness to them in the complexion or hair. They tend to have angular and yet youthful, almost childlike faces, as Aries is the first of the zodiac and tends to have a childlike tenacity to them. One needn't look any further than the White Witch herself for this one. Stevie Nicks embodies the wild, fiery, and free spirit of Aries and looks magical doing it every single time. Her devil-may-care attitude and zero fucks given approach to her music and life are all hallmarks of Aries, and no doubt that Gemini is fueled by that fiery Aries ascendant. So next time your friend is dressed in her usual Amish ensemble, don't judge her, she's probably just a Virgo rising.
And if you're tired of telling your friend she's not in love, just horny and wants attention, don't falter, Libra rising.
We hope you enjoyed our walk through the first house. Next week we begin our voyage to the signs themselves, starting with you, Aries.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next week,
we say goodbye. Merry meet.
Merry part.
And merry meet again. do this, Tasha.
Why?
I can't do this. I can't work under these conditions.